like to have your attention here in the Media Center. We'll go ahead and start our pre-race media availabilities for this weekend's Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series race, the Pure Michigan 400. We're joined by none other than Daniel Suarez, driver of the number 19 ARRIS Surfboard, McAfee Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. New paint scheme for you this weekend with the ARRIS Surfboard on. Could you please walk us through that one?
Yeah, very excited. Obviously, ARRIS has been with us already for a couple of years, a few years now actually. This is the third one, and I'm really super excited to bring the new technology to the racetrack, to bring the new technology to the racetrack, and to have different paint skins. So super excited to be here in Michigan again, and obviously this is one of those places that definitely brings good memories, and hopefully now that we have good momentum going on, hopefully we can keep that up.
Outstanding. We'll go ahead and open up the floor for questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless microphone to you. We'll start with Wolfgang and work our way around.
Daniel, good morning. I think in the beginning of the year, Carl Edwards was doing some work for you, coaching you. Is he still doing that? Is he involved still in the team?
You know, he's always hoping to help. He was obviously more helpful in the beginning of the year because he was in the point where I really needed a lot of help, and I was racing with a team that he knew very, very well. But you know, it's just a crazy schedule, and sometimes we don't have a lot of time to spend together, and then we have some changes in crew chiefs and stuff, and obviously that changed a little bit the way that he used to know the team. So answering the question, he was very helpful in the beginning, and right now we talk sometimes in a while, but no as specific about the team and racing like before.
We'll go next to Jerry and then to Woody.
Jerry Jordan, KickingTheTires.net and PRN. Daniel, last week you got out of the car and you said you wish you would have gone for it. Going forward to make the playoffs, do you just go for it now? Is that your mindset to just take the gambling and take the risks?
We have to. Right now we are in the point where we have to do that a little more gambling, based on what we find out last weekend. Maybe we had enough fuel to go maybe a lap before, a lap and a half. And if we had one more lap into the race, we were not going to make it. So, you know, I think that was the right call for my team to told me to slow down, you know, as much as I could right there in the last 5 laps or so. But, you know, that's part of racing. Right now we have 4 more opportunities to try to do something. We know that by points it's going to be almost impossible. We are not in bad shape, but with so many drivers with victories, that put us pretty much in a box where we have to win. Doesn't matter what we do. I don't feel like we are horrible in points, but in the base that so many drivers have win races, and you know that just put us in a difficult position. But right now we are in the point where we have to gamble a little bit more, and hopefully we can catch a break.
Woody?
Daniel, over the last month or so, you guys have really seemed to catch a wave of momentum. To what do you attribute that? Was there a moment where you thought, aha, now I've kind of got this a little bit, or was it a more gradual thing? And then next week you go to Bristol. Can you describe the difference between racing there at night versus daytime?
Yeah, I think it's been a progressive improvement in my team, myself as well. It's you know, everyone in my team and myself actually, we were expecting to be better in the second half of the season. Obviously in the first half of the season, Scott Graves, my crew chief, and myself, we were kind of learning about everything, about the system, about the cars, about the racetracks, about everything, about the aero package, about everything. Obviously we know each other already from Xfinity, but Cup is way different. So we were expecting to be much better in our second time in every racetrack. Watkins Glen was the first time, but it was the second road course, so we had already some kind of like notebook of what to do and what to do not do. Michigan is already our second time, so we have an experience in the past of what we did right and what we did wrong, and I think that's something very helpful. Going to Briscoe actually is one of my favorite racetracks as well. I love racing there. I've been very successful in that place. Very competitive, pretty much all the time, and I'm looking forward to do the same thing. I love racing under the lights. Doesn't matter where it is in any racetrack, and I'm looking forward to these two races. Obviously to all four races that we have next before the playoffs, but I feel like Bristol and Michigan are places that I feel very, very comfortable with, and hopefully, like I said, we can catch a little break.
Go next to Chris.
Chris Knight, catchfans.com. Daniel, knowing what you guys learned in the first Michigan race, do you guys think you can come and have a shot to win it Sunday and earn your first Cup win? I got a follow-up.
Well, I think as a team, we've been getting better and better. I feel like our race cars are better. I feel like as a team, the 19 group is much better. We have, like I said, we have a notebook and we know what to do now. And I feel like now we should be able to run in the top 10, hopefully in the top 5. And like I said in the past, when you run in the top 5 consistent, you can win anytime. It's just the way that the race is going to work out. But if you are right there, it can happen anytime. So we just have to put ourselves in that position. Hopefully we can find good speed right out of the box in the first practice and move from there.
And my follow-up is, I was just curious if you miss racing trucks.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes I miss racing trucks, but well, those guys are a little too crazy. But yeah, sometimes I miss racing trucks. For sure, I miss racing Xfinity full time. I wish I can do more races, but actually I have Bristol coming up, so I'm looking forward to that one.
Do we have additional questions for Daniel Suarez? Well, Daniel, thanks for taking the time to join us. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. We'll continue on with our Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series media availability, and we're joined by none other than Clint Bowyer, driver of the number 14 Nature's Bakery Feeding America Ford for Stewart Haas Racing. Clint, you're fighting for a playoff spot. I know a lot of focus is making the playoffs here. How much pressure do you feel coming into this weekend at Michigan, and how do you feel Michigan suits you?
Michigan is a lot of fun. Michigan's in a very important racetrack. A lot of bragging rights are on the line with the manufacturers all being, right here, this track being in their backyard. So we all know that. We all feel that. We all went to Ford Day. I know the other competitors had their day and their announcement yesterday. You meet all those employees at Ford. You see them. You see their families, their children, everybody that they brought out. Edsel, his son Henry. It makes you want to go to the racetrack and win in their backyard and celebrate that victory with them.
Okay, we'll open the floor for questions. We'll start here with Jerry, and we'll work our way around.
Jerry Jordan, KickingTheTires.net and PRN. What kind of pressure do you feel right now to get into the position and the points to the playoffs, and what are your thoughts going into these final races before the ending?
Well, I mean, there's always pressure. It doesn't matter. There was pressure, Daytona 500, to go out there and perform and try to win that race. There's always pressure. It's no different now. You still focus on the task at hand. You focus on unloading a fast race car, making good downforce, making good horsepower, knowing that it's going to take that on this racetrack, and you focus on the adjustments, the balance of your car, so you can go out and qualify well today. Enables you to gain those stage points as we go through the race, and then work hard to get a finish. I mean, it's the task at hand week in and week out that you have to focus on. You can't worry about those points. You have to go out and accumulate and do your job week in and week out. And if you do that, I feel like the way we're running, we can honestly get in two different ways. I think we could win our way in, and I think we can point our way in. And I think both of those are definite doables right now for us, I guess. you always have to take chances. It's just that's the hard thing. When the pressure cooker is turned up and the situation is what it is right now, I mean, you can afford to take chances. You need to be able to take those chances to enable you to get those stage points if you're out. Make a gamble and try to get them, but that also, there's a catch-22 to every decision there. So you just got to weigh it all out. Focus on the task at hand, whether that's a stage win or the second stage or the finish at the end. Focus on that and let the rest take care of itself.
Go next to Wolfgang.
Clint, I have a personal question to you. When the season is over, do you think Mr. Haas will give you a chance to drive the F1 car?
Why is it always a guy that talks like you worried about F1?
Well, I thought maybe you try a different environment.
I can't even get up early enough to watch them races, let alone compete in them.
No, not compete, just try to have a feeling.
Oh, I would love to do that. I know, Gordon did that, and I've talked to him about that experience. It's just amazing what those cars are capable of doing, but they look more like spaceships than race cars, if you ask me. I grew up in Kansas, and we didn't have anything like that. We couldn't even get the station that covered that, so I don't know. And I can't understand the announcer that covers it anyway, so I don't know about that.
We'll go next to
I would like to go to that track that has all the boats on it, though, them big yachts. You can find me a rig like that to back up to the track and watch when I retire. I'll go with you. How about that? You'll have to talk to everybody, though. I won't be able to do that either.
Go next to Mike.
Yeah, Mike Brudenholt from Auto Week. Another crazy foreigner question, but Dale, sorry, Dale has his last race here, at MIS. The legacy, in your opinion, he'll leave behind, and can it be filled?
Well, I think that legacy started long before him, and he carried the flag for that legacy for a long time, kept that fan base alive, and it's not on his shoulders to be able to do that. I mean, it's just not. It's always, I've felt it's a little bit unfair for him to have that workload on him, but he's done a good job with that, and it's time for us to hold up, our end of the deal and to capitalize on that. But that doesn't just mean a driver or anything else. That's the program that you see week in and week out. You go back. I just answered a question for a gentleman. You go back to Watkins Glen. We've getting beat up on attendance and things like that. These are all situational things. I believe in products. If you have a good product, they'll come. They'll come and spend their hard-earned money on that product, whether it's in New York, whether it's in Michigan, whether it's in California. If you put a good product on that racetrack, and not only the racetrack, a good product in the infield, a good environment in the grandstands, take care of the kids, the families, all the demographics, take care of all of that, you're always going to have fans flock to this sport. That's what put it on the map, whether there was a legacy on the line or not. The product on the racetrack is why people came to this. So I think if we can continue to put good products on the racetrack like what we saw in Watkins Glen last weekend, you can expect full houses. People said, well, that grandstand wasn't full. That's because they were unable to get out of there, go to a different corner and watch and take in the environment of the weekend. I was one of the guys that got on a golf cart, did 2 youth autograph sessions, which is more than I've ever done. Families bringing their kids and enjoying a weekend worth of fun. It wasn't just a race worth of fun. That was a weekend, action-packed weekend full of fun for everybody.
We'll go next to Kelly and then to Robbie.
Kelly Crandall, Racer.com. Clint, I believe I read somewhere this week that you said this part of the year is fun for you, or just fun in general. What is it about this time of the year, I guess the summer months, that you enjoy so much?
Well, it's summer. Everybody loves the summer. It's just fun. It's a ton of fun to be able to go to battle each and every week with my teammates at Stewart Haas Racing, knowing that you have a chance at winning, knowing that you can work alongside such quality people. Having a manufacturer behind you with Ford and the partners we have on these race cars, everything, and being able to step in that environment and go to battle is so much fun. But aside from that, now the pressure cooker's heated up. I'm the hunter, not the hunted. So it's a lot of fun to go into this weekend knowing that you got to go out there and chase that guy down or those guys down and hopefully pop off a win here and just put it all to bed.
We'll go next to Robbie, then to the back to John, and then up front to Chris and Lee.
Robbie Mays, MRN. Clint, next week we go to Bristol. It's another one of the tracks where we race one time in the day and one time at night. Do you have to race the track differently at night versus the daytime? And is this race, you know, it's the night race at Bristol. Everyone expects it to be crazy. Do you expect that to happen next week?
I hope it's crazy because my crazy ass is standing on that building or wherever. They moved to the front straightaway, didn't I? Think I'm still going to pull on the building and celebrate up there because that's where I want to celebrate in front of all those wild, crazy fans. There's no better atmosphere that's so close to you that you feel that environment, those fans, like Bristol. I'm telling you, driver intros, you're walking down there. I mean, it's just the feeling that comes over you before you get in that car is just something you don't feel anywhere else. It's because of the closeness of the fans to you. They're all breathing down on you and expecting big things out of you, and you can't wait to go out there and get in that Coliseum and go to battle.
Go next to John, then to Chris, then to Lee.
Hi, Clint. John Kubo, Shake and Bake, Cleveland, Ohio. You're a noted Royals fan.
Yeah.
Do you have enough to catch my Indians?
We got to get to shaking. We need to bake a little bit too, don't we? Man, I hope Cleveland. I hate seeing that on the tally. We run you 9. We get on a 9 win streak, right? And the only one better is Cleveland with 10. It's like, damn.
We'll do that.
Yeah. You can't do it long. Surely we'll run you down. Just like me on the racetrack, we're hunting you down. We'll come after you.
Chris?
ChrisKnightKidFans.com. Clint, you said you enjoyed the Fan Fest last weekend doing the youth autograph sessions and whatnot. Would you like to see more of that moving forward into 2018? And how many times do you think that we need to have those 2-day shows?
I think it just, again, every situation's different. Every track's different, right? You're selling a different product week in and week out. And, you know, if you're not doing a good job putting a product on the racetrack, they're not going to come. You can't expect that. That's on us as an industry, as a sport, whether it's the drivers in the cars, the sanctioning body, making sure that our cars are putting on a good show, Goodyear, putting good tires under us that can enable us to get side by side and put on good races, the aero platform, everybody. The whole industry is working hard to make sure that we are putting the best product on the track, whether it's in Michigan, whether it's at Watkins Glen, whether it's in California. Every situation, every weekend's different, and you can't expect the same outcome or the same stage or the same finish, at all those different racetracks. You just can't.
So you embrace the concept?
Yeah.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com, and from a Cardinals fan, thank you very much. Anyway.
Next question.
There was, clearly you'd have to be under a rock not to see what happened with, the Kevin Harvick comments earlier this week.
Here it comes.
And Dale Jr.'s rebuttal. But to not get into that, because it would take an hour, the fans want to know that after Junior's gone, where's the interaction going to be from, which driver's going to set up? How is the fan interaction going to change to get them, in addition, you brought up the product, but how's fan engagement going to change? How are we looking at that to bring the fan base back?
Well, again, it's the product. There's no I in any of this. There's no one person holding it up. And if it is, it's a problem. I mean, that's a major problem if we're all relying on one person. It's the product on the racetrack. It's the product and environment of a weekend. This is an event. This isn't one race. This is an event weekend that you're asking people to come camp and spend their hard-earned money and enjoy our sport of NASCAR. This isn't one driver. This isn't one team. It isn't one anything. It's an event for us all to have fun and enjoy a weekend and the sport that we all love. I mean, it's just as simple as that. I think we have to get better on all those things. Like I said, it was important for me to point out the things that I saw at Watkins Glen. We all have seen the decline in some places, some tracks or anything else. I mean, hey, it's a performance-driven business. If you're not doing your job, it's time to go somewhere else. And that comes from drivers or anything else. I mean, it's everything is driven off performance in anything in life. And there's been a lot of jabs thrown over the week, and I mean, I guess that's my comment for that is there's different ways to judge all performance, whether it's on the racetrack, how you build a program around your brand, off the racetrack, how you provide support for your organization and everything else with sponsorship and everything else. You can't just go out and do a good job driving. You have to be the total package so you're attractive, and it doesn't matter. If you do that, the demand is there for the supply, or the supply is there for the demand, I mean.
Any additional questions for Clint Bowyer? Clint, thanks for taking the time to join us.
Hey, hold
Good
on
luck,
just a
bud.
second. I've got a new partner
Yeah.
on board this weekend,
bet.
and they're here. We have the Liberty Insurance, Liberty Mutual Insurance Highway Hero app. It's a lot of fun. I've had fun with. I drove from the airport here. This judges your driving ability. This is something that you can have fun and enjoy within your family, your household, your friends. It scores your driving. Bob, I would love for you to have this Highway Hero app so we can compare our driving. I thought I was a professional driver till I got this app, and it scored my performance from the airport to here. I got a lot to work on. But you can also, you could get up to 25% off on your insurance through this. So important app. Just thinking about your family. My kid's going to be driving, sometime here. I can when they get home, I can see firsthand with this app just how he was driving, whether he was using his phone, texting, all these things that are so important. Everybody hates coming up on that car, seeing them all over the road. They're 90 to 60, and you look up, and sure enough, they're tweeting Bob on on Twitter. So very important program that we're putting together with the spotter stand and things that they're doing. Liberty Mutual Insurance Highway Hero app. Make sure you get it. Have a little fun with your family and friends because it's so important.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Good deal.
All right, we're going to continue with our media availabilities here at Michigan International Speedway, this time in advance of tomorrow's NASCAR Camping World Truck Series LTI Printing 200. We are joined by 3 drivers who will be competing in that race. Chase Briscoe, driver of the number 29 Cooper Standard Ford. Austin Cindric, driver of the number 19 Draw-Tite Reese Brands Ford. And Ben Rhodes, driver of the number 27 Safelite Auto Glass Toyota. We'll just start with you guys in alphabetical order down there with Chase. Why don't you guys just talk about coming here to Michigan and what you're looking for tomorrow?
Yeah, for us, it's a huge race to come here to Michigan, just with the Ford background and the Cooper Standard background. Our 2 biggest supporters, this is their backyard. So to come to Michigan is certainly a big deal. We've been up here since Wednesday getting Ford F-150 plant tours and participating in Ford Driver Days. So if we could come out of here with a win in their backyard, it would certainly be a big deal.
Austin?
Yeah, just to reiterate what Chase said, this is the biggest race of the year for BKR. I mean, every one of our key partners is based out of the Michigan area. I mean, LTI Printing, one of the big supporters of the 19 truck, is the title sponsor of the race. Obviously, Draw-Tite, I spent some time over there at their headquarters yesterday, and no, like Jay said, it'd be huge if one, if not 2, these BKR trucks could finish up front.
And Ben?
Yeah, this is a big teamwork track, with the drafting and the truck series. It kind of reminds me of a Talladega or Daytona almost, the way that you have to work together. So having 3 teammates the way I do, I think it's going to be a big plus for me. But as big of a race as it is for the Ford guys, I would say it's just as equally as big for the Toyotas because we want to beat them in their backyard.
All right, we'll open up to questions for our panel. Please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic. We'll start back there with Wolfgang.
I have a question for Austin Cindric. Without any doubt, the truck championship, NASCAR truck championship, has priority. Nevertheless, I think 2 or 3 years ago, you were also seen in GT racing. Do you have also some spare time to do some other races outside the NASCAR world?
Yeah, so I've been doing the IMSA endurance races as well this year. So in conjunction with my full season trucks, my next time in a sports car will be at the Petit Le Mans, running with 3GT Racing in GTD class. But like I said before, this is my focus. But everybody knows me. I'm looking for every race car to get in every weekend. But this weekend here in Michigan.
Yeah, Mike Bryson from Auto Week. Chase, specifically, we saw William Byron get a promotion this last week or so. You guys are the young wave, the next wave here. How do you know when you're ready for the next group? I mean, the next level. Chase, you're kind of on the fast track as are Austin and Ben, but specifically, how do you know when you're ready?
I think if you're consistently running up front, I feel like that's one thing, and obviously wins are a big deal, but at the same time, you have to be in position to win. I feel like a majority of the time to know that you are ready. Obviously, haven't won yet this year, but we've been up front a lot. But I think as a driver, I don't know if there's any certain one moment that kind of makes you know that you know, but I think down deep you do know when you are ready to go to that next level. I don't know if there's one certain key point that makes you know that, but I think down deep every driver knows when they are ready. And obviously Williams done a heck of a job, and he has won in everything he's gotten in, and that's one thing you got to do if you're winning at the level you're at. Obviously I feel like you're ready for the next level, but you can win one race and then be running 15th every other week, and I don't think you're ready. I think you got to consistently be up front.
Go to Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, kicking the tires.net and PRN over here. For any or all of y'all, back on the William Byron comment, there is a school of thought that maybe his career is fast-tracked too fast. Would any of you guys turn that down? If you had that, would you take the risk of holding back, or would you rather be on a fast track?
No, I think you go as soon as you get the opportunity. If it's an opportunity that can win, I've always had the mentality as you're only as good as your last race, or at least people only talk about your last race. So obviously with him winning Indy, and he's been winning, if he goes next year and doesn't perform in the Xfinity deal, then his stock goes down, in my opinion. So if you can get an opportunity where you can go win races, I think you got to take it. That's my outlook on everything, and that's how I've always thought about it.
Robbie Mays, MRN. We're here this weekend in Michigan. Wednesday night we go to Bristol. Your thoughts about all three of you heading to Bristol on Wednesday night? And first of all, is racing on a Wednesday night? It's the second time this year. Is that how do you adjust your schedule for that stuff?
Yeah, obviously it's a quick turnaround for the team. So, I mean, our Bristol trucks are already ready to be loaded up on the haulers. Just wait for the haulers to get back from Michigan. I'm really excited. I mean, my team, BKR truck, qualified on pole there last year, and I feel like there's a lot of variables heading into that race with the sealer they're going to put on the racetrack and different lines you can run or may or not be able to run. And it's a fun racetrack. It's obviously a big change from going to super speedway here, and I think it kind of plays into our wheelhouse where you have to focus on a lot of the handling characteristics of the truck. But I'm excited. I'm excited to go back short track racing. I think it's going to be a good race for us.
Chris?
ChrisKnightCatchfence.com. Austin, you're on the strength of going for 5 top 10s in a row here this weekend at Michigan. I was just wondering what you can contribute to your recent success to, and are you getting more comfortable in trucks and feel like that you're making a hard charge tour playoff push?
Yeah, I feel really excited about these next few races because honestly, the last handful of races, last handful of events, I feel like we've really optimized the situation that we're in, whether if it's the speed that our vehicle has or the setup. I feel like Doug and I have done an awesome job of working together and understanding what each of us needs from each other. Obviously, that comes with time, and that's something you always talk about at the beginning of the season, how you and your crew chief are going to work well together. But I feel like the more and more runs we get, I mean, take Pocono for an example. We have a blown tire in first practice and have to go to the backup, don't get a lap on the backup, and put a bunch of adjustability in the truck, and we end up finishing 7th in a truck that's never turned a lap and is several generations older than what we've been running before. So I feel like we have more races like that. We're going to be running up front. We're going to win races.
Do you guys feel like as the playoffs approach that it's time to get dirty? If you have to, especially at Bristol?
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, if you're going for a win and you need a win to get in the playoffs, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I feel like everybody feels that way. I don't feel like if I was running first and these two guys were right behind me, I don't feel like they would give me slack. So, and I feel like it'd be the same way. So, I think the playoffs make it incredibly important to win races in the position that I'm in, and probably the position that Ben's in as well. Like a win's going to solidify our championship or our hopes at a championship, whereas I'm 50 or 60 back, and I can maybe make it on points, but a win makes things a lot easier for my team.
Yeah, you know, I put kind of pressure on myself in the past, like trying to get wins, and turned out the harder I raced or the harder I tried to run, the worse I would do. Actually, I went into Pocono with probably the most relaxed mindset I've ever had. I actually told myself I'm not going to try this week, and we ended up getting a pole and finished second. So I can just second place myself to a championship if I can just keep doing that. So I'm not too worried about the win. You know, I know it'll come. I'm just not going to push myself and try to make the opportunity happen. I'm going to wait for it to come to me.
Up front to Lee.
SpencerMotorsport.com. For Chase, speaking of getting dirty, what was your biggest transition learning how to go from dirt to pavement in NASCAR? Obviously, you had ARCA seat time, but NASCAR is kind of a whole different animal.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is on the dirt track, if you have a 10th place car, you can make up for it and maybe get to third or whatnot. And at least in the NASCAR stuff, I've come to realize that, there might be only a 30 or 40% of the races where you have a truck that's capable of winning, and you have to take advantage of every single one of those races. And there might be days where you just don't have the truck to battle for a win, and you just have to deal with that and try to make the most of it and, salvage a 6th or 7th place finish. But that's been the hardest part, is just knowing that, there's some days that might just not be your day. And then the biggest thing is just the distance of the races. Obviously, sprint car stuff's only 25 laps, and we come here and it's 200 miles. So there's a lot more mistakes to be made, and you just have to limit those mistakes.
Go back to Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, KickingTheTires.net and PRN. Ben, you threw some bait out there a while ago. I'm going to bite. You talk about beating these guys in their backyard, the Fords and the Chevys. What would that mean? How do y'all plan for that? Or is it really just another race, or do you really say, hey, this is MIS, we've got to come in here and beat these guys?
No, I think there's as much weight to this race as any of the others, but that's like an added bonus to your manufacturer's highs, at least. And I know the Toyota guys, they're all about that stuff. They're so competitive. They put so much into the sport, and I've spent so much time with them that that would I know it would mean a lot to them. And as a young guy that's trying to make his name in the sport, I think that would hopefully give me some brownie points, So especially if I can, be on my A game during interviews and be like, yeah, guys, we just beat them in their backyard, all this stuff. They would love that. And, I want to try to do the best I can to make them happy.
Do we have any final questions for our panel? All right, gentlemen, thanks for joining us. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.